Hello, viewers and listeners. Welcome to the finale of season 2 of Slaves to the Algo. When I started this podcast last year, my idea was to demystify the age of the algorithm. This season, I connected with different leaders from digital marketing to EdTech to healthcare to travel. We discussed how AI has transformed and is continuing to transform industries, professional, and personal lives. In this finale, I bring to you the top moments from this season's episodes in two parts. Let's begin. Let me start with the first episode of season 2, where I chatted with Eric Sue, founder of Single Grain, digital marketing guru, influencer, and podcaster. While there were many great moments in that episode, the moment that stuck with me was when he described the core values and culture as the algorithm that runs your company.
Okay, if we're going to build it, we have to build intentionally. All the things people used to tell me that I used to think was baloney, you talk core values, culture, that type of stuff. That actually, if you think about it, that is an algorithm that runs your company. If this happens, then this. If this happens, then this, right? If they don't behave, if they don't follow our core values, then we fire them. Yeah, I'll be the first to say I'm not an algo expert, but I mean, at the end of the day, I was just mentioning if this, then that, right? Life is really just a lot of if this, then that statements. And I think the culture is really, you can call it the plumbing of your company. I like to think of it as the programming of the company, because of programming, you're constantly adding new lines of code to it. You're constantly making adjustments. You're deleting code. What do you want to think about, CRISPR, like gene editing and all that, you're removing things. You're just doing that the whole time. When you add people, you add new code to it, your culture changes a little bit. And so you're constantly adjusting it over time.
Here's another great moment when Eric talked about the compounding power of algorithms, how machines continue to learn relentlessly and keep improving over time.
So I'm just saying, typically with business or any type of audience, it takes 2 to 3 years to get something going. And it's just a compounding effect after that. So I think, what I learned from that is, if we go back to algorithms for a second, algorithms don't get impatient. Algorithms, they just keep going. They keep compounding over time, right? So that's what it is. A machine, sorry, not algorithms, but machines just keep on going and going. They don't have emotion tied to it. So you try to take that investing mindset to business and also to just building audiences. And it's a recipe for success, I think.
In the second episode, I was joined by Valerie Wagoner, the Chief Growth Officer of GoPay and co-founder of ZipDial, which she exited to Twitter. She is a leading name in technology, and Valerie and I covered a lot of ground on how AI is transforming credit and lending, e-commerce, and retail and payments. But the key takeaway for me was when she said it has to be AI plus the product experience, and how design decisions on user interface should amplify the AI and optimize for what the algorithm can learn about you. Here's what she had to say on this.
What I said about Credit Karma, you can never, AI is not the solution. It has to be AI plus the product experience. It doesn't matter how amazing your engine is, of your car, if you don't have like plush seats and a beautiful design and good handling with the steering wheel, so it's, it has to be a combination of the two. I think what's changed over time is that previously it was always lead with the product experience, and then AI is kind of an amplifier of that experience, making it more personalized, making it more relevant, making it more powerful, but always the kind of an add-on. Now what we're seeing is the AI, because the technology is so much more available, and you don't have to have a team of hundreds of engineers or data scientists building from scratch, but there's so much more that's available to be consumed and built on top of that. There's earlier adoption.
In episode 3, I caught up with futurist, entrepreneur, educator, and co-founder of Esme Learning Solutions, David Shrier. Currently a professor of AI and innovation at the Imperial College Business School, David had many fascinating insights from decades of experience with technology and algorithms. One of my favorite moments when he pointed out that in today's world, data is life, and how he recently worked with 200 different billionaire families to explore the concept of sustainable investing using data.
And then more recently at MIT, I worked with 200 billionaire families to basically identify a rising trend around ESG analytics, environmental, social, and governance analytics, which is a core concept at the heart of sustainable investing. And this generated an entire new research initiative at MIT Sloan around a more sophisticated model of assessing impact investing using data. And now with my EdTech startup, Esme Learning, we're using learner data about how teams collaborate to solve problems and playing back those AI-derived analytics and positive feedback loops to the learners to help people transform their careers. And so people who went through our approach to entrepreneurship, for example, were 50% more likely to start a company than people who went through conventional accelerators. So it's been very exciting to watch analytics become more recognized and important and to see how it can transform lives. Data is life.
In another fascinating moment, David talked about how AI can be used to increase course completion rates in online learning. We all know that there's been a surge in EdTech, but that course completion rates continue to be very low across the industry. David and his team have used AI and data to bring course completion rates at Esme Learning to 97%, the highest in the industry. Let's see what he has to say on that.
A lot of the conventional online learning has, as you say, a lot of people dropping out, right? So Coursera just filed their IPO. edX is another big one, right? These platforms have about a 3.1% completion rate, which means 97% of the people drop out. Masterclass, everyone's all excited about Masterclass. Masterclass has a 26% completion rate.
Wow.
Right? So 3 out of 4 people who start a Masterclass never finish it. Because Masterclass figured out how to charge for the TED Talk. So I applaud their business model. Somehow they figured out how to charge.
That's a lovely way of putting it.
Oh my God. I just, but nonetheless, hey, kudos to them. But it doesn't really solve this problem of learning. We have a 97% completion rate, right? We have the highest completion rate in the industry. Almost everyone who tries will finish an Esme class. So that is a notable difference. And we hope that people start demanding performance. If you're going to pay money for an online class, you should be getting a premium experience.
In the 4th episode, I spoke with Gillian Doherty. Gillian is a computer scientist, a business leader, and founder of the Data Lab, Scotland's Centre for Innovation and AI. And Gillian had many great insights on how AI is being used to transform an entire country. But I have to say, my top moment from this conversation was when she referred to AI in the context of whiskeys and how one project involved building an algorithm that analyzed the bottle type and the impact on tint and how that influenced consumer purchase decisions. Can you believe that? How is your AI improving the quality of the scotch that we are consuming?
Oh my goodness.
Quantity?
Now, I think I might be giving away some trade secrets here, Suresh, so I'll need to be really careful. But actually, there was a project about whiskey tint. Whiskey tint is a really important aspect of selling whiskies, the tint and the colour of it. And one of the projects was building an algorithm that analysed the barrel type and the impact on tint and the environmental impact of where the barrel was kept, in what kind of facility, temperature, humidity, all of those things. What are the ingredients, the kind of environmental ingredients, the barrel, the physical ingredients that has the biggest impact on whiskey tint? But I can't see any more, otherwise I might have our whiskey industry chasing me for giving away some trade secrets.
Gillian has also worked on using data and AI in many healthcare projects. She shared how a certain algorithm was up to 97% accurate in predicting which patients are likely to be blocked in hospital at the point of discharge because they will need further assistance. And she tells us why that matters.
Just one more that I really love was the delayed discharge project with the NHS. So I don't think this is unique to Scotland, but if a patient gets admitted into hospital for a treatment, often that treatment and illness leads to when they come to be discharged from hospital, they need additional care packages or maybe alterations in their home that, whether it's like a walk-in shower or a stair lift or handrails. And often a patient gets stuck in hospital while those things happen because it's not should we say, processed until near the time where they're allowed to be clinically discharged. And we worked on a project, could we predict which patients that was likely to happen to at point of entry into hospital rather than at clinical discharge team? And the algorithm that was built, joining different data sets together, was 97% accurate in predicting which patients were likely to become blocked in hospital at their discharge time. And that allows you to start to look at intervening to build those support mechanisms.
So, those were some of my favorite moments from season 2 of Slaves to the Algo. Don't forget to tune in next week for more such moments. We'll be featuring Sandeep Reddy of MediAI, Mika De Shipper of Amadeus, Greg Palmer from the Finovate Group, and Peng Gong from Mongsel Ventures. And of course, we hope you continue to stay safe in the age of COVID. This is Suresh Shankar, founder and CEO of Crayon Data and host of Slaves to the Algo. Slaves to the Algo is available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Don't forget to rate, share, subscribe, and share widely with your network. See you next week.